coming out of Far From Home that we didn't want to shy away from the fact that his identity is now revealed. It's out there. And that was certainly always the starting point. And with Erik Sommers and Chris McKenna and our director, John Watts, and Amy Pascal, we sat and just started brainstorming. What happens next? What happens to him as he swings away from Madison Square Garden where that big TV screen outed his identity? And how does his life change and get turned upside down? And more importantly, how does it affect his friends? You know, Peter Parker can handle a lot, but when he starts to see his friends being affected by his actions unfairly, that really is emotionally draining for him. So that was always early on where it was. And we had a lot of fun discussions. It's always, you know, having a discussion of what would be cool? It'd be cool if we did this. It'd be cool if we did that. As I said, I'd always been saying, yeah, if we ever brought Ock back, you'd have to bring Alfred Molina in. And how would you do that? And we thought it might be fun someday. But as we started working on really tracking the story of Tom Holland as Peter Parker and what would he do, and what does he have access to in the MCU to undo this? And we realized, well, he knows who Doctor Strange is. Doctor Strange is down there on Bleecker Street in Greenwich Village. He could just go ask him to fix it all. Just magically fix it all. Just turn back time or do a spell or do something so that my life can go back to normal. And as you might imagine, it's not that easy. And things start to go wrong because he starts to realize, okay, well, Doctor Strange has a spell of forgetting, but he doesn't want everybody to forget. He wants Aunt May to know and Happy to know and MJ to know and Ned to know. He's not by himself in our universe. He's got confidants and he doesn't want to lose that. So he starts screwing up the spell. And Doctor Strange finally has to shut it down and say, never mind, kids, sorry, I never should have even tried this. You're just gonna have to deal with it. But unfortunately, even in those little moments where a spell was going awry, we slowly start to realize that instead of making people forget that Peter Parker was Spider-Man, the spell went awry so that everybody in any universe who knew Peter Parker was Spider-Man came into our world.
The villains, essentially, they arrive in our universe because Peter Parker goes to Doctor Strange to ask for some help. He wants to wipe any knowledge that he is Spider-Man from existence, and Strange obliges. And in the process of doing the spell, Peter Parker is asking him to change certain things. He wants his girlfriend to keep the knowledge. He wants Jacob, Ned, he wants Aunt May, he wants Happy Hogan. And in the process of meddling with the spell goes horrifically wrong. And when I say horrifically wrong, what I mean is that every single person that knows who Peter Parker is in every single universe, which is an infinite amount, is being pulled into our universe. Those people are the famous villains that we know and love from the previous two Spider-Man franchises. So we have Willem Dafoe as the Green Goblin, Alfred Molina as Doc Ock, we've got Jamie Foxx is back as Electro, Sandman, we've got the Lizard. And for me, as an actor and as a fan of Spider-Man, it was so exciting to see them don their costumes again and to get back into character.
Hello, Peter.
Well, I think what's really special about this movie is, although there's all kinds of madness happening and multiverse madness happening, the core of it is really this friendship and the love that these people share for each other. You know, they've known each other for such a long time, and now they're going through, you know, life changes, but now the biggest life change you could imagine, and they're under so much scrutiny and public attention, and so I think they have to lean on each other so much more than they ever did before, and they're the only ones who can really understand what the other ones are going through. So, I don't know, I think their bond is even stronger, and they're there for their best friend.
When I met with Amy Pascal and first approached her about joining forces to do a Spider-Man movie together and set them in the MCU, and when we got her blessing and the blessing of Sony, and Tom Rothman came on board and believed in it, there was a lot of pressure, right? There's one thing getting people to say yes. It's another thing now delivering on what the heck you were talking about. And the first step on that is casting and is saying, okay, let's find the youngest Peter Parker who we can grow with and who can do scenes with these other Marvel heroes for the first time. And we knew that Tony Stark was going to be a big part of that. And Civil War was already shooting at the time, and we weren't sure we were going to be able to cast Peter Parker and include him in the initial round of photography on Civil War. But we wanted to make every effort to do that. So yes, we flew, I think, about five actors in and had them do readings with Robert Downey Jr. And it was his graciousness, and he's always so gracious, particularly with other actors, with his time. And that we narrowed it down there with that reading. Then we did one more with Chris Evans, and it became very apparent that Tom Holland was not just an amazing Peter Parker, but he incredibly was an amazing, no pun intended, Spider-Man, because he had both the abilities of a great actor and the abilities of a great gymnast and stunt performer, which was just an added bonus, which continues to blow us away and surprise us. Yeah, I remember he did a giant flip right in front of Evans during that reading and threw Evans off. He couldn't believe what he just saw in front of him. And as I've said, that dynamic between a very young Tom Holland interacting with Robert Downey Jr. for the first time was exactly the dynamic we wanted between a young Peter Parker interacting with Tony Stark for the first time. And seeing our Peter grow and grow out of that, the shadow of Iron Man, as we saw him start to do in Far From Home, in which he completely does now in No Way Home, and really become his own hero.
Where am I? We down here in Georgia, baby. Down here in Georgia.
With some creativity, you can shoot almost anything here in Atlanta.
We have all our stages here. They've taken such good care of us. We are so lucky to be here.
There's a great crew here. There are facilities here. There's equipment here. The vendors are fantastic.
The scale of what they have is not to be underestimated.
And to see it grow and evolve each year, it's great.
Badass.
And it's amazing to have a single home where we can have 3 or 4 productions going on at a time.
The quality of the set build, the paint work, the effects just puts you right back on your game.
Full credit to the set designers and all the crew that have just made it look incredible.
Can't believe I'm in the Sanctum Sanctorum.
There's not a lot of states where you could do that, where they have the facilities and they have the equipment to manage that level of production.
You won't know that it's not in New York when you see it.
Oh, sound's rolling.
Oh God, everyone focus!
Oh, no way!
Dude, get in, man.
What do I do with my mask? It's here. What are we gonna do for 300 miles?
We're gonna put our seatbelts on.
Oh, that's right. Whoa, sorry. I feel like I've forgotten how to act.
Appreciate you.
Look, man, I really wanted to tell you where we were hiding. Where I was hiding. MJ was not with me this whole time. Hang on.
3, 2, 1. Great. Ionic 5 from Hyundai.
I hope that they enjoy it. I hope that they are able to escape the crazy world that we're living in right now for 2 hours and 20 minutes.
Go to a crazier one.
Go to a crazier one, but be safe and enjoy the crazier one, you know? I hope that people can feel fulfilled. I hope that the conclusion of this trilogy is something that is satisfying and not disappointing. I'm sure it won't be disappointing. And I hope that people will leave the cinema with a greater affection towards our 3 characters. People are speculating on what they can expect, and I hope they're surprised in many different ways when they see it. We've not put out a Spider-Man movie in the holidays before. I remember Amy going back to Spider-Man 2 or Spider-Man 3 wanting snow and the holidays.
Begging Sam to put snow in the movie.
We have that in this movie. And it just seems like an amazing bit of timing when the world is ready for there to be something to bring us together, even just for a couple of hours in a movie theater. And I think this movie can do that.
Yeah, me too.